Welcome, sports fans, back to Durfee High School. It's opening day here at Matt Aldridge Field, and we have boys varsity soccer on tap for you on just a beautiful September afternoon for sports. Evan Massoud with you here on Fred TV. Thrilled to be back for another school year. Should have some great action this afternoon. Durfee coming in. Again, it's their first game as we start right here. And coming in with a new look. A lot of players that graduated last year. Coach Mello telling me it might be a bit of a rebuild, but he is optimistic and hoping the team gels early. This game, kind of rare. It's an early game. A lot of teams are playing early. But after today's a Wednesday, Durfee doesn't have another game till Friday the 13th. So they're going to have basically 10 days off after this one to kind of go over what worked, what didn't, and kind of regroup for game 2. So it's going to be, this is kind of an early one. And Stang on the other side, the visiting team, the Bishop Stang Spartans, they're coming in at 0-1. They played against Fairhaven and lost their opener 2-0. So they're coming in with a loss already. The Stang Spartans led by Coach Nate Green. The Spartans are in white jerseys with the maroon shorts, Durfee in all red. And the elephant in the room is the giant steel structure you see behind the playing surface here. As the new Durfee starting to take shape. A lot of progress over the summer months since we were last year. And even more so, you know, we were just wrapping up fall sports when we had the groundbreaking. So all of this is new. The scoreboard's been moved. The clock tower, the bell tower has been moved. And we'll take a look at the construction site in a little while, as we can see it pretty well from in here. But getting back to Durfee, you know, Coach Mello saying that, you know, had so many seniors that graduated and they were all starting seniors. So that's what kind of makes it a bit of a rebuild and a bit of a challenge early on, seeing what you got and how the team gels together. The only returning starter is the goalie, and a very good goalie at that, junior Zach Massa. But in terms of regular starters, a lot of new starters getting that role. Not necessarily new faces, but the core group that was here a year ago that had such a tremendous regular season, only to have it cut short in round 1 of the playoffs, that group is gone. You're talking about, you know, the Kyle Neves, the Daniel Keys, Nilan Neras, so many great players last year on the team. That's just to name a few. Sending it down towards the box, and the first chance for the Hilltoppers. Colin Hargraves was breaking, and he almost got there. It was a nice stop by Declan Markey, the goalie for Bishop Stang. We, Pamela Martin and I, during the school day, we do a lot of the newsy type stuff, special videos for the district, for the city, for Government Channel, as well as Fred TV. And we interviewed Colin, actually. I don't know if he probably remembers, but we actually interviewed Colin a couple years ago at the end of the school year for the Back to School video for Dr. Malone, for the opening day for all the teachers and stuff. He was very good to talk to, good student. I think we interviewed him in, I want to say, Eddie Abdow's class, Mr. Abdow done it in Morton. Every year is starting to blur as we do more and more stuff. Another nice save. That one was going to go out of play anyway, but it's scooped up by Markey. So we're about 5 minutes into the new year. Nicholas De Silva playing at midfield there, sending it across. So they'll play it back now, try to reset. with a good feed down in front toward the box, and Markey will scoop it up again. So he's been busy. On the other side of it, Massa hasn't even had a chance yet. Very gusty today out on the field. Wind coming in from the south and blowing from end zone to end zone. So whoever's playing up the field going to get the advantage of the wind at your back. And our game time temperature today, 78 degrees. Really nice game. Nice game day. We love this time of the year. I always enjoy fall more than I do the spring. And it's just because the weather's usually better. Markey going to have a goal kick here. You know, and plus we're coming from, and believe me, I love baseball, love softball, but coming from doing baseball basically since end of March, all through the summer. And so it's nice when you come to fall sports, come back to school. It's a totally different brand of sports, soccer, field hockey, girls volleyball, football. It's just a really nice change because baseball's fun, but baseball can be very long because, you know, the innings are not timed and it just goes. It can go and go and go. So it's always nice to have that change of season and change of sports, and the September weather here is usually the best weather of the season for any sports. Another one fed down to the box. The Hilltoppers are sending it down into Stang territory quite a bit here in the opening 10 minutes. Haven't gotten that break, though, towards the goal. Brian Fernandez lost his footing. It goes out of play, and Stang will throw in. Our official pregame told us some new rules that the clock will not stop at 2 minutes in the first half. It will, on the scoreboard, it will roll right to the end. And then in the second half, rather than stopping at 2, we're going to be stopping the clock at 5 minutes, and then the officials take it from there. So new official rules that we're told today by the officials. Aaron Wilkinson in the middle there. Coming down here to the near side. Good feed to Isaac Correa. Trying to get around Andrew Saunders, cannot. It goes out off of Saunders, and the Spartans throw in. Back to Wilkinson it goes. Mason D'Almeida. And that one went out. It was intended for Correa. Now Saunders will throw in for the Hilltoppers. And offside. I think that might have been on Hargraves. He was breaking just a little bit here on the near side. He seemed to be ahead of everybody else. So from the spot, Markey will kick it away. Wilkinson in the middle, sending it far side to, looks like, Isaac Willett. Good pass down the field, and it's a foot race, and look at the speed for the Hilltoppers. A chance, and that one goes out on the goal, tumbling down. And that was Fernandez. Man, he can run. He's got some speed. And the Hilltoppers going to really get their first big chance of the game here. A corner kick on the far left side of the field. And Hargraves is going to send it away. Good kick from the corner off the head of Kuchar, and it goes over the goal. But good strong kick, good placement. Markey sends it away again. trying to settle. That was Roman Kodner. And he loses it there. Coming in to help out, Nicholas D'Souza. Ian Wilkinson getting matched up. Now Fernandez takes it, redirects towards the middle, back to Da Silva. Rafael Oliveira, what a great job here. We got Jake Fitzgerald, basically our producer today. Great opportunity, but it gets away a little too strong, giving Jake a promotion today. As we have Nathan Saucier and Daniel Keating, two of our students running camera, learning, haven't done any filming for sports yet. So Jake overseeing. And the wind blowing the papers around, so Jake giving me some paperweights, his own cell phone, and a battery. Whatever works. I'll tell you, that's generous, because not many people would give up their phone like that. Goal kick there, the drop kick from Markey did not go very far as it hit that jet stream of wind that's blowing from trade winds. Nice to see a few alumni here as well today. Stang with the throw-in cut off by Rafael Oliveira. Looking for some help, it gets a ricochet, it's coming right back to him, and he can't find his teammate as Willette cleared it out twice. That was a good opportunity because Oliveira had some help, but he just couldn't get it by Willette. Down into the corner, Kodner sending it towards the center, and it's cleared out again. Saunders settling, lofting it. Da Silva comes flying. Actually, I'm sorry, that was Kodner again. Da Silva's back in midfield. Chasing it down, Carter Dennis. And it goes out of play right in front of Coach Green. A good throw in there. Lofted in the box. Could be playable for Hargraves. He's not able to settle it. Jacob is there as well. Looking for a shot, trying to get it through, and it's cleared out by the Spartans again. Oliveira there, going to redirect to Da Silva. Back to him it goes. And we come back across midfield into the defense. Gets by Saunders, our official, almost got taken out as well. And Stang will throw in Nico Ferreira, giving way to Mason De Almeida. That was a great chance there for Durfee again, but the Spartan defense kind of buttoning it up down there. That's out of play. Correa tried to sell it. Off the chest of Jacob. Played back now to Brandon Miranda. And Massa going to get his first touch of the game here, almost 15 minutes in. Good push ahead by Kuchar all the way down the field. Showing off the speed. And here Coach Mello really directing everybody right now. Very active sideline. That one sent towards the net and wide to the left. Oh, another great chance for Durfee, cutting in, taking a shot on net, right to Markey it goes. And I like it. That was a good feed in front, good setup, and you got to take the shots. A shot that's not taken won't go in, so you got to at least take a shot at it, and that was a good attempt there for the Hilltoppers, one of their better scoring opportunities here in the first half. Bunched up in the corner, that's going to go out of play. And a timeout on the field at 24-31. I will say right now in the early goings here, as we just went over the 15-minute mark, that the Hilltoppers are definitely controlling the pace of play. Almost all of the action has been on the left side of the field. So, and we've seen, again, a couple good opportunities. The corner kick, couple sets in front there where we saw Oliveira take a couple shots, and then just most recently here. So Durfee getting some shots to trying to set it up. Haven't really had to play defense, so they've been able to press forward a bit and really shorten the field. Still haven't gotten that first goal of the season, though, 15 minutes in. All right, Markey getting set here, ready to kick it away after the timeout. And they took off a little too soon there. Official did not blow the whistle, and so they're going to redo that. And now we roll. As he got the whistle and the okay. A strong throw in on the far side as the Spartans trying to move it up to Silva. We'll send it back towards Saunders. Ferreira sending it up now. First chance here for the Spartans. That's going to go out of play. No, Kuchar kept it in, and then it goes out off of Hargraves. Well, the wind took that one. That was headed for Hirschman, and boy, did it get away. It just curled. Ethan Machado on the far side there, number 20. Nice redirect, getting pushed back. Wow. A little bit of physicality there from Caldera, who was basically giving him the elbow, not letting him through. Jake Silva overtaken, still fighting for it back. It's going to go out of play. And it is Durfee ball. And there goes Fernandez again down the sideline, trying to direct it toward the goal, and it goes out. And it should be a corner kick for the Hilltoppers, and it is. Second one of the game. Both have been now for Durfee. A low kick on the ground. Oh, nice job by Markey. Quick hands. Sometimes those bouncers are more deadly than a shot in the air, because you get the spin of the ball and you can redirect. Wilkinson trying to get around the Durfee defense. Gets it to number 18. Towards the goal it goes, and Massa plays it. First shot on net for the Spartans. Look at the wind take that ball. Massa's got a good kick to begin with, but really the wind is really howling right now. Down into the corner, Cameron Jacob playing it, and it goes out of play. I'm calling an elbow. This is going to be a free kick for the Spartans from the spot. And again, look at that. The wind just stopping it dead in its tracks. Another shot on net for Markey. Well, for the Hilltoppers' sake, I hope they get a goal early here, because they got the advantage of the win. Second half, they're going to be dealing with what Stang's dealing with right now. Hargraves taking off, runs into some Spartans. Out of play it goes. Halfway through the first half here, scoreless from Durfee on opening day. Hilltoppers hosting the Spartans in boys soccer. Evan Massoud with you on Fred TV. Well, there's a good check there to Machado. Hargreaves trying to find an open shot. Chance, oh, and it's off the crossbar of the field goal posts. Brian Fernandez with a great chance there. Out of play. Oh, what a great chance for Durfee right there. And again, it's not the first time. We've seen this a few times already in the first half, that set right in front. And the shot just missing. That was probably the closest chance, closest shot for the Hilltoppers. Saunders Gonna loft it. It's floating, and going up the ladder is Markey to get it. Another nice play. Oh, great feed. Onside played by Hargraves, and he gets interrupted. The flow. Good defense. That was just a beautiful feed from midfield for the Hilltoppers. Another good chance. Spartans moving the ball here, trying to get by midfield, trying to get by Cameron Jacob, and wow, he was almost there to take it back, and what a nice move from Nico Ferreira. He was able to get by him. That's off the back of Jake Silva, out of play. Stang will throw back in. Some good moves there, though, from both Jacob and Ferreira. Oh, and that goes out of play. It hit the heel of Saunders. Otherwise, I think it might have been Durfee ball, but it hit off the back of the foot there. So D. Almeida for the Spartans will throw in after the substitutions. Gonna go with the short throw, nobody open, and it's taken by Saunders right back to Jacob. And a good feed down the field. Oh, it's off the back of Fernandez. Hargraves with the feed now to Machado. Machado sending it, and it's right off the back. It looked like Willette there on the far side, number 6. Now the chance for the Hilltoppers. Loose ball in front, and the Hilltoppers will bury it for the opening score. Or no, are they calling it back? I think they're calling it back. I'm not sure. It might be a goal. It is a goal. Hilltoppers with the 1-0 lead here. 15 minutes left to play in the first half. I mean, there was no celebration. It looked like they were calling the ball back for an infraction. But nonetheless, the Hilltoppers start the season ahead. A place that they found themselves many, many times, most of last season, we'll say. The Markey's been very good, but, you know, I had said it earlier, it's kind of just a matter of time. Durfee had some really good chances in these first 20, 25 minutes of the game, and it was only going to be a matter of time before they got one. And they hold the lead now at 14 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first half. Another good feed in front, and the wind helping out the Hilltoppers. It's a foot race. Recentering off for the crossbar. The open net was there for Fernandez. That's twice now that it's been just high for him. As he beat Markey, but he just couldn't recenter it and get it down enough. That was a really tough angle, but I think it would have gone in if it was low enough. I think he cut around the corner. And again, the wind helping Durfee in that respect because the pass floated right by the defender and Fernandez was there. That's out of play. Hargraves heading to the corner for the kick. That one went out over the goal line, but off of the Spartans. So a corner kick for Durfee, third one of the contest. This one coming back off the head. Oh, nice play by Markey in front to save it. Really had to climb up to get that one. He's pretty tall as well. Significantly taller than the Hilltoppers goalie there, Zach Massa, who can also climb the ladder quite well. But Markey, pretty big guy there in the net for the Spartans. He too a junior and a co-captain with number 2, Aaron Wilkinson, for the Spartans. Thrown in by Luke Canberra, just into the game here. A hip check there for Kuchar on John Brum. Markey will play that one a little more routinely. Didn't get the full explanation getting back to the scoreboard and the clock here, but my guess, and we'll find out, but my guess is that by letting the clock just roll down in the first half, is there won't be any extra time or stoppage time played in the first half, that it'll all be in the second half, and it's just going to be a straight 40 minutes here in the first. That's my assumption, because it would make sense that that's the case. You let the clock roll down. But we'll get some clarification. And that is an offsides on Hargraves and Jacob. Both of them clearly ahead. I think maybe even Fernandez as well. Everybody was ahead of the Spartans defense. Far corner. Machado gets freed up. That one heading toward the bench, and it goes out of play. Stang ball at about the 25-yard line. Going to throw it back. Fernandez is there, and that is trouble, and he's going to get it. Moved it down past midfield, and he'll get to throw in now. It went out off of one of the Spartans. Or did it? Yes, it did. So Fernandez is going to come down the field and let, it looks like De Silva. No, that's not De Silva. Down in the box, Hargraves takes a shot right to Markey. It goes. I believe that was Jacob Bigelow who threw that last one in. I thought it was De Silva, but it was Bigelow. It looks like number 18 on the far side. Oh, Markey almost went down trying to hook it. Giving up on the kicking, I suppose, at least for the time being. He had the open man, but didn't look too graceful doing it. Back to Canberra. Settles. Sends it to Wilkinson. And I think they're calling a little bit of a shove there on De Silva. He's going to have a free kick for the Spartans. So everybody going to move up. Less than 10 minutes to play here. Wow, and Hirschman just took that kick. Nobody was set. Nobody was even looking for it. Actually almost hit off of the back of the head of one of the Hilltoppers. Thought they had to wait for the whistle on the free kicks. Saunders going one-on-one there with number 18. And that one goes wide. Going to be a goal kick here, as Kuchar will send it away. Massa plays that one wide of the net. Good strong kick. Back to Saunders, who's going to set it for Silva. Back to Saunders, sends it down the side. And Canberra will go after it. Gets by him. I'm sorry, that was Hirschman, rather. Canberra chasing him down. It goes out of play, and that went out on the goal line of miscue, so that's going to give the Hilltoppers another corner kick. Going to give it to Hargraves. Strong floating kick, and it gets away. Going back toward the goal line in the far corner. And it's going to result in a goal kick. Just over 5 minutes left here in the first half. 1-0 Durfee. And a goal that came in about 25 minutes in. Man, the wind is just not allowing any distance on these goal kicks from Markey. It hits the crest on its rise into the air, and the ball then just, it's like it hits a wall and it just drops. Mason DeForge on the far side. It's like another free kick coming for the Spartans. Oh, gets by DeForge. And it goes out of play. It'll be Spartans' ball. The speed there from Fernandez is just fantastic. This is twice we've seen him go all the way down. Oh, set up in front. And it's a miss. Oh, you know, I'm going to take that. Excuse me. That was Roman Codner. We'll say both. He and Fernandez have been tremendously fast. Kuchar, too, down that far sideline. I don't know if it is the wind or not, but I'll tell you. Oh, that was hands, and they're not calling it. That was very clear, at least from our angle. Spartans got away with one there. Hargraves with some room, going to send it, and Markey will play it. Another shot down the field. That one well long and down, bouncing right off the construction fence. You know, probably should have set up a netting because I have a feeling that we may lose a couple balls over that fence but before the fall season is over, between soccer and football. And never know. Godner trying to get through, could not. Cleared out by Markey. Only made it to the 30. Kuchar trying to find a lane, and he sends it wide left. Isaac Correa trying to make something happen here as we're in the final 2 minutes. And Kuchar's going to take it back. Nice feed up ahead. Ooh, that was close to offside. Very close to offside for Fernandez. Chasing it down is Canberra. Going to give it to Markey, who will loft it. Off the foot of Trent Morris, out of play, and the Hilltoppers are going to throw in from a pretty good spot here. Looks like Saunders is going to head down the sideline and do so. Quick throw in to Codner. All the way across to the other side of the box, and nobody there except for Cole Doobie. From Stang, it goes out of play. Good strong throw. Oh no, I think they're negating the throw. Oh, and that's the end of the first half. Wow, the whistle not very audible. You know, they say sound travels with the wind too, and I'm wondering if it just went away from us. We did not hear the whistle, but nonetheless, after 40 minutes, the Hilltoppers with a 1-0 lead here after the first half of the regular season. They lead Bishop Stang here on their home field on opening day. We're going to step aside here during the half. We'll come back and see you on the other side. Evan Massoud on Fred TV. Stick around, second half next. Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massoud. Welcome to the Fred TV Sports Report, our final broadcast of the summer. We've got a stacked show for you, and we're going to begin right here at Chew Park with the Fribble Championship. It began 2 weeks ago, and it delivered complete and great action throughout. Let's take a look at how we got to this point as we bring up the graphics. The Brewers made quick work of the Marlins, sweeping them in 2 games, and the Braves got their revenge on the Rockies, also pulling off a semifinal round sweep, which brings us to the finals, where the Brewers have a 2-1 lead in the series. The games have been very close, too. Game 1 went to the Brewers 12-9, Game 2 to the Braves 7-5, and Game 3 to the Brewers 4-1, who are hoping to clinch the title in Game 4. This is their 3rd straight appearance in the finals, and they're hoping to make it back-to-back wins. Got out to the early lead, too. Top of the 4th. 2 out, 1 run in, and a runner at third. Chris Smith with the base knock to center brings home Connor Smith to make it 2-0. It would stay that way all the way to the 7th inning. Let's go there. Braves looking to tie it up. After an RBI ground out earlier in the inning, Alex Knievy with the 2-out hit. The blooper. It falls in the Bermuda Triangle. Dave Bushnell scores from second, and it's a 2-2 game. To the bottom of the 8th we go, same score. Josh Blaze at the dish with 2 down and 2 in scoring position, and he delivers the go-ahead. Well-placed hit to left center. Bradford Hartwell and Ryan Pimentel both come home. It's 4-2 Braves. They took a 5-2 lead into the 9th. Things got a bit dicey there as the Brewers did grab a run in the final frame, but Ryan Pimentel closes the door. The Braves stave off elimination and force Game 5 with a 5-3 Game 4 victory. This was a great game. It was a close game, kind of a nail-biter throughout because both teams weren't doing much offensively until that 7th inning. The Braves, though, able to push it to 5 games. Game 5 would be a Sunday matinee right here at Chew. We'll have those highlights a little later in the program, so stay with us. All right, always like a fun Did You Know? Because I did not know this until recently. Did you know that South Watuppa Pond is the only Olympic-sanctioned pond in the entire Northeast? Go figure, right? Well, that means that if the Boston 2024 Olympics had happened, we would have seen Olympic rowing competitions happening right here in Fall River's backyard. Pretty cool. Well, we all know that unfortunately that didn't happen. But I did get a taste of what it might have been like, thanks to the Bay Coast Rowing Center down on Jefferson Street. Take a look. On a peaceful summer morning, the sound of oars clapping on South Watuppa Pond could be heard as the Bay Coast Rowing Center wrapped up the last week of its Learn to Row camp. This particular program was geared for high school athletes. Co-head coach Julia Medeiros told me that Fall River should feel very fortunate to have rowing available right in its backyard because unlike football, baseball, and basketball, it's not a sport that's offered in many communities.
I never really saw any schools that had rowing, so I thought it was super unique, and I was never really into many other sports. So when I finally found rowing, it was finally my niche and the sport that I love the most.
Much like Julia, Monica Smith had started with another sport prior to finding rowing. Now going into her sophomore year of high school, Monica has become an assistant coach at the center, continuing to learn new skills while teaching others what she has already mastered.
It's different from any other sport that I've done. I used to be a swimmer, and I just like how it's very mindful but kind of relaxing at the same time. And it uses a lot of different body parts that most sports wouldn't use.
Monica said that she has recently taken the role of coxswain, which is the person that faces the rowers and steers the boat. The coxswain also keeps an eye on the rower's stroke to ensure that synchronization is preserved throughout the race. Staying focused is essential.
Rowing is a lot more mental than some other sports. You really have to work on working together, being in sync with your teammates, and endurance-wise, you're going until you cross the finish line. So there's no switching in and out. So we've really been trying as many drills and fun activities as we can.
Okay, remember, relax. This isn't a race. Slow and steady.
Julia's co-head coach, Alexa Beyonson, is currently rowing for Fordham University in New York. She was passionate about this sport right from the start, often training before the sun rose.
Rowing is a very heavy endurance sport. You have to spend a lot of time working your aerobic capacity, so it's doing like long, low, and steady aerobic work, either on the erg machine, running, whatsoever. I know I spent the majority of my mornings in high school at 5 a.m. waking up and doing steady state on the rowing machine over there.
The Bay Coast Rowing Center was awarded a community impact grant from our friends at the United Way of Greater Fall River. Executive Director Kim Smith says this is a great example of a nonprofit helping a nonprofit, all for the greater good of the city.
Not only does it keep kids engaged in movement and rowing and doing something physical, but it also avails them the opportunity to learn to row and then potentially continue rowing, which also would lead to possible college scholarships.
I know what rowing has done in my life, and I want to help kids, especially in Fall River, realize the benefits that rowing could have in their lives, and that rowing is a possibility for them to make their dreams come true if they want to go to college. So if they stick with it, put in hard work, great things can come from rowing.
And it's Alexa's hope that all of the athletes who attended the camps comes to love rowing as much as she does. Now, if you want to find out more about future programs, visit the website right at the bottom of your screen, baycoastrowingcenter.org. Thanks to everybody who helped out with the pack. The girls were great to talk with. It was a really cool program, highly recommended. All right, Game 5, sudden death, winner takes all from right here at Chew Park. The Braves have been in the playoffs every season that we've covered the league on Fred TV and our sister station, FRG TV. And they've been in the finals. This is their 4th time in the finals. Is this year the year? Let's find out. Roll the tape. One thing's for certain. For a late August Sunday afternoon, it felt more like September with a 60s temperature and a breeze. I'm not ready for the jacket weather, that's for sure. All right, Braves took a 3-0 lead in the top of the first thanks to a rocky start from Carney Buff. He settled down nicely, though, until running into further trouble in the 4th. We'll pick it up there. 2 outs, runner at second. Dave Bushnell hooks it to left. That falls in fair. Josh Blaze comes around to score, and the Braves with a 4-0 lead early. We'll move ahead. Top 7 now, 1 run in, first and third, and more. 2 out magic. Josh Blaze gets into one. Chew Park holds it, but it's deep to center, and it'll bring home a pair. Luke Bomback and Jonathan McCarthy score. The Braves with a 6-run lead. It's 7-1. Bottom half of the inning, Brewers rallying, trying to stay in it. A run already in. 2 in scoring position with 2 out. Chris Smith sends it up the middle. Greg Nugent from third. Connor Smith from second. A 2-run single cuts it back to 3. It's 7-4. Bottom of the 8th now. Franco DeRay leading off the inning for the Brewers. A drive to deep left, and it carries out. Just over the 295 marker in left for the solo jack. 7-5 the score. Brew Crew not going away. Later in the inning, Carney Buff at the plate, 1 out, man at second. Drives it deep to right. Josh Blaze and Luke Bomback almost collide. It gets down. J.K. Silva comes in from second. Buff stands at third, representing the tying run. After a pitching change, a couple batters later, Connor Smith comes up now with 2 down. He slices it to left, and that's going to tie up the ball game as the Brewers score 6 unanswered runs in an inning and a third in Game 5 to pull even at 7-7. To the bottom of the 9th we go, still tied. J.K. Silva at the plate. Chris Smith, the winning run at second, and Silva delivers. A drive deep to right field, bounces once, goes over the fence, a ground rule double, and the Brewers walk off with the win and the championship in Game 5. It's their 2nd championship in a row. What an exciting comeback. I caught up with the winner at the end of the game, and come to find out, J.K. Silva is actually one of our own here at FRPS, a phys ed teacher at Cuss Middle School. I asked him about the feel in the dugout when the deficit was 7-1. Here's J.K.
We were not feeling good. Morale was getting down, but it only takes, the craziest thing about sports and baseball is it only takes one thing to turn momentum. Once momentum got turning, I had it in my head. I knew we were coming back. I knew we were winning this game. I just wanted to give a shout out, Cuss Middle School, all my students. Keep working. We'll see you at school this week. Let's go.
So that wraps up another exciting year of Fribble baseball here in Fall River. A big thanks to the league for another fantastic summer of baseball action. All right, last but certainly not least, some news from the high school level. We had some changes made over the last couple of months while we've been away and want to let you know what's going on. Over at Bishop Conley, Cesar Gonsalves has been reappointed as the athletic director. Cesar served for 3 years from fall 2013 to the spring of 2016. And he was always so helpful to us at Fred TV, so we wish him the best of luck as Bishop Conley and Coylan Cassidy join forces. So Cesar's going to be running both athletic departments. Now, over at Diamond, Michael O'Brien, who was the assistant AD over at Coyle, has taken over the athletic position at Diamond Regional after Keith Allen recently stepped down. Michael had a tremendous career over at Coylan Cassidy, where he coached the girls basketball program for 16 years, had 269 wins over those 16 years, very impressive, and a state championship in 2018. Now moving on here to lead the Bengals, Michael says the transition has gone very smoothly.
Coming from a different place, I'm learning. My first plan is to just observe and learn from these guys and learn their system. I'm joining their team. They're not joining me. I don't think any major changes are needed. They run a nice athletic program here. Keith Allen did a great job, and I'm happy to be here, and I've enjoyed my week and a half so far. It's been great.
Also at Diamond, head football coach Steve Wynarski elected not to return this year. So Freddie Lima, longtime assistant coach at Bishop Stang, has been hired to lead the Bengals football team this fall. Also in Greater Fall River news, former Hilltopper Jeff Caron has been the AD over at Dartmouth High School. He's left that post to take an assistant principal position over at New Bedford Voc. Andrew Crisafulli, who was the AD at Case, is heading over to Dartmouth now to take over the Indians program. All right, last but not least, this is some big news. You won't hear me saying the phrase Big Three play anymore in our broadcasts starting in September. And that's because the Big Three and the Old Colony League are no longer. They have merged. And this happens because Barnstable left the OC to become one of the Cape Cod teams, staying on the islands. So that means Brockton, Durfee, New Bedford, Dartmouth, and BR will be the Southeast Conference, comprised of 5 teams. Should be a lot of fun. We'll dive deeper into that on our first broadcast of the fall, and we'll see how it's going to affect Durfee as well. Thank you so much for tuning in on Fridays throughout the summer for the Fred TV Sports Report. I'll be seeing you soon. I want to wish all of my colleagues in the district a great school year. We had a successful opening this week, and we wish everybody the best as we head into September. I'll be seeing you soon on Fred TV. Until the next time, I'm Evan Massard coming to you from Chew Park. Thanks for watching. Hilltoppers wrapping up their halftime powwow with Coach Mello. And we want to take this time here because some changes happened during the off season. A big change. And that is that there's no more Big Three. The Durfee, Brockton, and New Bedford comprised Big Three League is no more. Just as the Barnstable, Dartmouth, and BR comprised Old Colony League is no more. That's because Barnstable left the OC to go and become a member in one of the leagues down on the Cape with other Cape teams, kind of a super league. Doesn't mean Barnstable won't, come across the canal and play teams here. But nonetheless, no more OC. So BR and Dartmouth joining Durfee, Brockton, and New Bedford to become the Southeast Conference. I think Southeast 5 would have been kind of cool, but they're just calling it the Southeast Conference. So nonetheless. So I talked to Athletic Director Brad Buston earlier today in a one-on-one. That it's kind of a two-parter. You'll see the second part of that on Friday's football game. But I talked to Brad this week, earlier today, about the change and how it's going to affect gameplay and the mindset that there's more league games, more conference games now, not just the 2 home games every year, every season, every sport. Now you got 4 home games that are league games, 8 total on your schedule for all of the teams that do home and away games other than football. So for soccer, for example, basketball, field hockey, you name it, down the board, baseball, they're going to have 8 games on the 20-game schedule that are guaranteed games on your schedule, conference games. So winning the league is going to be a little more challenging. Here's Athletic Director Brad Buston for more on the change.
Well, I think there are some sports where it's going to be a lot tougher. And Bridgewater, Raynham, and Dartmouth are very strong in some sports, but I think here at Durfee we're very strong in some sports too. So it is going to be tougher. So I'm not saying it's going to hurt us. I think it's going to help us because we're just going to have to step up our game and we're just going to have to get better. So it's a challenge to the student athletes, and I think when you get a conference champion, that's real something. That you did something. You beat 4 other schools to win a conference championship. So that's going to be a huge accomplishment. Now, not that the Big Three wasn't, but when you're only competing against 2 teams, sometimes they might be having a down year in a couple of sports, and you're just pretty good in that sport. So you win the conference championship. But with 5 schools, it becomes a lot more challenging and more rewarding, I think, too, when you do win the championship.
So to echo Brad Buston, as he said, it really, I think this change, I was never a fan of the 3-team league. I know why it was created, but we had this debate, and we talked about this a number of times over the last year or so since this whole speculation of a merge had been talked about. And it's just never been something that I loved. I get it that there's the hype behind it that, like, okay, Brockton's coming in, New Bedford's coming in, and those are the two big games that we're going to get to see here at Durfee. I get the mindset of it, but from a competition standpoint, from a filling the schedule standpoint, it's not the best situation. I loved how, I always have, the Mayflower League, the Diamond's in. And they have 5 or 6 teams in that league. And so Diamond had half this schedule was always filled with games that mean something. And then you don't have to go hunting around for opponents. For football, Diamond would play their first 2 games of the season were non-league games, and then the rest of the schedule for football was basically all conference games. Meanwhile, Durfee gets 1 league game a year with Brockton, because you're playing Thanksgiving against New Bedford, your other conference opponent. So it was really a weird situation. And I don't think it made for as great a competition. I really think Brad is right that, now you got 4 conference opponents, which means that almost half your games are going to be very meaningful games. I think you're going to see an increase in competitiveness throughout the season, throughout the sports. BR is a tough school. They're up in they're not so much South Coast. I think of BR and Brockton as, dare I say, like Metro South, because you got Metro West, which is the 128 corridor, but I think of them as like Metro South because they play a lot of the upper echelon teams. They're kind of in their own little world. Durfee, New Bedford, Dartmouth, we're all down here playing a lot of similar opponents, but you got BR and Brockton playing the Xaverians, the Catholic Memorials, the BC Highs. I mean, these are tough teams, and they come in very tough. So, it's always such a big accomplishment here. Sometimes I think it becomes more of a bigger accomplishment if you beat Brockton than if you beat New Bedford, just because Brockton's always so tough in so many areas of athletics. And BR was, the same way with many of their sports. They have tremendous programs at those schools, and I think it comes from playing up, having that really high level of competition. Take nothing away from some of the South Coast teams here, but, those 3 teams I mentioned in Boston, BC High, Catholic Memorial, Xaverian, they're in a class of their own here in the state. And it's hard to just compare them to, say playing a Somerset or playing a Westport or, just as an example. That's not to, negate anything that those 2 schools do. They just come to mind. They're local teams. So my point in it is I really think you're going to see an uptick in competition and just the level of play just by default, by need, by necessity. And so it'll be really interesting to see how it turns out throughout this school year. But I will tell you that here on Fred TV, we always, the big 3 games are very important. We would always put those down first and then I would start building the schedule around those to include other matchups, and then we'd see Dartmouth a lot. We'd see BR a lot. Somerset, we always try to get Somerset. Such a great rivalry. You'll still see that. But you're definitely going to see a lot more Dartmouth and a lot more BR because they're conference games now. So, our scheduling, our programming is going to be a little bit skewed. We won't do just Southeast Conference games because, again, we want to get the Somersets in there. Durfee plays Diamond in a couple sports. Last year, Durfee played Conley for basketball. So, those inner city matchups, very important, and you'll see those too. Those won't be those are not going to just go by the wayside either. But we have to be a little selective with certain games that we do. All sports will be covered, that's for sure. It doesn't give us as much leeway now, because we try to do 3 to 4 games a season of each team. So, now you got 4 conference games, 4 conference home games a season. That ties a lot of the flexibility up. But we have some ideas, and we're really looking forward to another season of high school sports here on Channel 9. And, we also have, again, our Facebook page, Fred TV Sports. We encourage you to like and follow that. All our games get posted there. That one going high. Was that Fernandez again? It was. Man, Brian Fernandez has now had 3 great opportunities. That one might have been the weakest opportunity, but nonetheless, 3 great opportunities, and all 3 have gone just over the crossbar. If you can bring it down just a little bit, he's one that I feel like might get one before this game is done, because he's been there. He's been in the box so many times. Miranda chasing it down, but Massa there to back him up. 5 minutes gone here in the second half. This part 2 of that interview with Brad is going to focus on facilities here because, again, as I mentioned very early on, no surprise, but with the construction here at Durfee, parking is at a premium. There's no Fieldhouse lot anymore. And so we're going to discuss game day procedure. So you'll hear about that. Game day procedure, parking, and some of the facilities updates and stuff here. So we'll hear from Brad during halftime or during the game, I should say, during the game on Friday's football game, which will air early next week on Monday. Corner kick coming for the Hilltoppers. They've had a slew of them in the first half. And Hargraves kick it away again. This one floating. Oh, it's off the head of one of the Spartans who deflected it away. That was Willette. Good defense. The Hilltoppers still in the box, though. Oh, and does it go? No, it stopped twice. And it wasn't even Markey who did it. It was his defense. Because Markey dove one way, the ball was going the other, and the defense cleared it out. Tremendous job by the Spartans right there, because it should be 2-0 Durfee. De Silva goes down after the kick. Fernandez with the ball, trying to center. It looks like he wanted Cameron Jacob. He's going to get the ball right back, take a shot on net, and it's going to go just wide to the right. That one gets by as Andrew Caldera going to take a shot. Massa plays it on the in-between there, going down to the ground. Ooh, going tumbling is Caldera. Kuchar down the sideline. Kicked out. The Hilltoppers surge there, kind of halted, but they'll get to throw in on the other side of the field, and it looks like it will be Jake Silva doing so. Indeed it is, number 14. Back to Kuchar. Kuchar sending it toward the middle, looking for Fernandez, and it's cut off and sent right back where it came from. Out of play it goes. Massa tracking it down in the corner. It'll be a throw-in from way down in Durfee territory. Caldera can't get back to that one. It goes out. Silva will throw in again. He's been busy on this side. Fernandez shoved in the back. Nice kind of hook slide by Kumas. That one went out off of Durfee, so Stang will throw in here. Kuchar lofting it, coming this way with the ball. And Codner in the middle of the field. Had the right idea, but it was cut off by Kumas. And we'll have another throw in here for the Spartans. They move down the field. Noah Carrero, number 17, doing the honors. Calling it back I think that was an offside call they were blowing the whistle on. Didn't look like Jacob was ahead of them. Nonetheless, the free kick as Kumas sent it away. That one gonna come out of play quickly to the left. Really incredible when you look at the construction that there was no steel structure a month ago. And here we are now looking at, I would say, approximately probably a quarter of the building, maybe 1/5 of the building going up here. Really amazing how quickly. And of course, you know, with winter coming, obviously the crews worked through the winter last year. That's taken on. Shot on net, Massa with the save off the hand and the save of the game. As Durfee continues to lead, the Spartans with their best chance so far. That one centered in front, cleared away by the Hilltoppers. I was just gonna say that, you know, with the fall, you know, just around the corner, the construction crew here, you know, kind of working against the clock here to get as much done before it gets too cold. I mean, I would imagine they're going to continue through the winter as long as they can. Because last winter, the crews worked basically all winter because we had very little snow. But I would imagine, you know, certain temperatures and stuff could limit what is done. Well, Markey with a very risky play right there. Almost got overtaken by Fernandez. That one gets by, and now Caldera watches it go out of play. Stang will throw in. Wilkinson can't keep it in. The Hilltoppers will get it back. Throw goes in from Colt Doobie. And it's lofted right back toward him, and we got a player down. That was Nico Ferreira. And it's going to be a free kick right there. Going against the Hilltoppers. Oh, it's not a free kick. They're just doing a drop. Interesting. Kuchar trying to clear it, gets it back to midfield. Ferreira couldn't stop it, ended up bouncing to De Silva. Good feet ahead to Cameron Jacob. He'll have to recenter it, loft it, and it goes over the net. Well, the sun's gone behind the clouds as the gonna get a cold front this evening, and we'll have some thunderstorms after the game, but the clouds are rolling in, and it actually cooled off quite a bit here. Fernandes. Fernandes lofting it this way to Jacob. And now Silva sending it back toward the net. Markey coming out to play it. Oh, he got pushed in the back, and they're not calling any foul on that. Wow. This Codner was pretty much leveled right there. The official waving it off. See, Markey's got a great kick. Look at how far that went. It was the wind. That's how strong the wind was, folks, in that first half. That Markey couldn't get more than 25 yards on the drop kick. Meanwhile, that just went almost the length of the field. De Silva cannot keep it in, so it'll be a throw in for the Spartans. They wasted no time getting it right back in, and they'll get to throw it in again. Cole Doobie. Get ready to toss in. He will. Threw into some traffic there. Wilkinson cut it off. Caldera was there too. And Fernandes. Trying to get the redirect that went off of his teammate, and he's going to go get it again, a third time here. Out of play, and Stang will have it. Trying to get through, and it's deflected. What a great save from Markey as Cameron Jacob took a shot on net. The Hilltoppers will have a corner kick out of this. That was a great opportunity. Again, it was kind of all bunched up in that far corner. We hit the 20-minute mark here, halfway through the second half. Durfee still leading 1-0. And Hargraves will kick away another corner kick. That one low to the ground, off the thigh, off the knee and the thigh it looked like. Out of play, and Durfee will throw in. Oh wow, Stang ball. Well, Hilltoppers got it right back though as Ethan Machado sends it towards the net, played by Markey. Gonna get ready to kick it away again. Another strong kick. Landing right at Caldera's feet. And unfortunately for him, it goes out of play. Great kick, well placed, but the Hilltoppers gonna have the ball. Kuchar with a nice line drive going right to midfield. Fernandes sending it up ahead. Foot race to Silva running for it. It's going to be cleared out by Willette. Way to move the ball right up the field in a hurry. A little bit of miscommunication. Machado was breaking back toward the box, and the throw went behind him. So now the ball coming back toward midfield as Hirschman trying to clear it out. Kuchar is there. Lofts it over. Nice move by Kuchar. Another infraction called on the Hilltoppers. We haven't seen one on the Spartans. Didn't look like much there. Calling the offside. That one gets by Wilkinson, has to kind of redirect himself. Sending it towards the middle to Caldera. Machado gets that one off now to Jacob. It comes back toward him. Hirschman looking for help, nobody there. Jake Silva sending it this direction, right in front of us. Doobie plays it. Still in play, can he get there? That's Nick Souza chasing it down, and it goes out of play. He hesitated. I think he was worried he was going to get called offside because the defense wasn't running with him. And that slight hesitation did not allow him to get to the ball. That one lands, takes a big bounce. It's deadened off the head of Brandon Miranda. Souza finds Codner as it slows up. Hirschman trying to get through. It's cleared out. Kuchar with a nice job. The hook slide into the clear. And that stops progress. Working the sidelines here. Doobie, Wilkinson, Caldera gets some space. Fed up ahead to Jacob. And take a shot. Oh, it redirects, and it's just wide of the goal. It was deflected. The Hilltoppers will head to the corner again. This one in the air, Markey coming out, and he makes the play himself. Quick kick down the field. You got Wilkinson heading it to Caldera, trying to get some space. That's sent towards the net, and it's just over the crossbar. No good. Timeout on the field. We'll take it too. Conclusion of this one up next on Fred TV. 13:36 remaining in the game. Hilltoppers lead 1-0. Stick around.
Honor, courage, sacrifice, pride, our city. Fall River has traditionally been in the forefront of honoring our nation's soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen. Vietnam veterans took the initiative to secure rights to an 80% size replica of the Healing Wall for Veterans Bicentennial Park. The names of over 58,000 fallen heroes will be engraved on the 360-foot long replica wall. 100% of the money raised benefits the building of our Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Fall River. Help build our wall, which is scheduled to open in 2020. The meaning, the spirit, and the value of the wall is everyone's. Be part of this exceptional, once-in-a-lifetime project. To make a donation, please visit VietnamMemorialWall.org or connect with us at Facebook.com.
Welcome back to Matt Aldridge Field here. Durfee versus Bishop Stang, varsity soccer. Opening day for the boys, and it's been a good one so far. Second half's been a little more competitive. Stang has definitely stepped it up from the first. The Hilltoppers really controlled that first half, but second half has been a little more even keel. But the Hilltoppers continue to lead 1-0. Stang just got one of their best scoring chances, but could not pull even. And they have little time to do it, less than 15 minutes to play in the game. Cameron Jacob sending it down the field, and it's slowed up. Man, they had Codner there, but again, good defense. Stang's defense has tightened up a little bit too, and that's been part of the story as well. The Toppers haven't gotten as much penetration. Kuchar, though, getting around Doobie. Looking for Codner, but Codner's in the middle of two Spartans. And it's cleared out again off the head of Ferreira, off the head of Miranda for the Hilltoppers. Kuchar went by it, gets tripped. No call, but they're going to call that one. Hasn't been too chippy of a game, but the few infractions that Stang's had, they've gotten away with them. That's for sure. There was a clear handball down here on the left side in the first half. That right there should have been against Stang, but instead the second push ended up going against Durfee. So a free kick. That one's going to go out on the far side. Jacob was tracking, so was Fernandez. They both played it. Hargraves backs off. Codner there. Well, they were looking for Fernandez. He wasn't there. He got covered up quickly. Codner down to the turf, and it's coming back. Nick Souza. Out of play, and Jake Silva will throw in. Codner played it. Souza there, it goes out of play again. Durfee will have it. Hilltoppers trying to push into the box, and they cannot. Denied once again. Mazza comes over to play it. A little bit of chippiness there. Kind of baiting the Spartans right there. And he sends the kick away. That'll reach midfield. Locked up at midfield there. That was Souza. And I think Wilkinson. De Silva. Long legs. Able to get to that one. Fed over to Hargraves. He's breaking, gonna be close, and he backed off. Markey came over to clear it. We're under 10 minutes to play in the game. Oh. Well, Hirschman coming in like a defensive back. Goodness gracious. And the blind side of De Silva just took him out. I don't think De Silva wants to talk to him. Well, we talked about it earlier, and this just in, during game one, the JV game is playing down like in the outfield of Skip Lewis Field where there's some grass left. They've had to migrate, and Brad Buston tells me 7 soccer balls have gone into the construction zone. We haven't lost one here, I don't think. We've been pretty lucky, but we talked about that earlier in the game. I said, I wonder how many we're going to lose. Well, JV's already lost 7. That one's going to go out of play, and Coach Mello picks it up. Markey going to play that one. Another strong kick. Caldera coming over to play it. Oh, and he gets taken out by DeForge, who also went tumbling. Be a free kick. That one sent down. Massa plays it. The free kick from Kumas, and Massa scoops it. And now Massa sending it away. And final score alert here too. JV boys won against Stang here, so they just took the win 5-1. So nice win for them. Hilltoppers varsity squad here that you've been watching. About 5 minutes left in the game. Another free kick coming from the Spartans, but they're hoping they can hold them off and secure their first victory of the season. Spartans have played a game. If you're just joining us, they did play their opener against Fairhaven. They lost 2-0. The Hilltoppers hoping to secure this first W. Rafael Oliveira trying to get through. He loses it. De Silva chasing it down. Slows it up, redirects. Feeds it to Jacob. And that one, though, gets by. Good, strong kick. Kind of bounce. Kucher looks like he's got it squared up. Hooks it back toward the middle of the field. Out of play it goes. Hilltoppers taking their time right now with the clock stopped. That is out of play. It was riding the line. Durfee ball. Wow. That should have been Durfee's ball. That was clearly off of Caldera, and it rolled the line when the official called it. I'm surprised. And now another free kick for Stang. Line drive toward the box. And it's off the head there of Miranda. It went the wrong way. Kind of skipped off. Durfee trying to clear it out. A great slide there by number 18. Great pass there to Jacob going down the sideline. Has some room. Gets through the legs, and a chance here set up in front, and it's cleared out. Wow. That's kicked out. Should be Durfee ball, but I'm not going to assume anything yet. No, it's Spartans ball. Offsides, and that's going to delay the game a little bit there, that extra little kick by Jacob. Markey sends it down. Skied in the air off the head of Kucher. De Silva blocking for DeForge to be able to play it. Jacob. This one should be just a few ticks away from concluding. The clock has been stopped now. So we're into whatever little bit of stoppage time there was. The official checking his watch again, so we're close to done. Hargraves off the chest. Trying to get by Trent Morris. Sends it towards the box, and Markey will play it. That's the game. Hilltoppers win it on opening day, 1-0 over the Spartans. Got a little bit dicey there at the end. Again, some questionable calls that some that weren't called against the Spartans, some that were called against Durfee. So, some interesting calls, but nonetheless, the Hilltoppers do hold on to it. 1-0. They get the shutout. The Spartans shutout now in their first 2 games. And they are 0-2 to begin 2019. All right, this was just game 1 for us here of the fall on Fred TV. We'll have much more for you throughout these upcoming months. We hope that you'll continue to tune in. Again, like and follow us on Fred TV Sports on Facebook, our Facebook page. We post all the games there and more. So really, we encourage you to connect with us on social media. Until next time, I want to thank Jake Fitzgerald, who basically was our producer today, Daniel Keating, and Nathan Saucier for running camera. I'm Evan Massoud, and we will see you soon here on Fred TV.